All right, Evolution 2025, the second ever all-female pay-per-view. And my thoughts on this is that this was the best PLE of the entire weekend. Yes, it was better than All In. It was better than Saturday night's C-level event. Better than NXT Great American Bash, which I did not watch. But when it comes to All In, I knew when it came to that show, it was going to be long as hell. But Evolution to me, from top to bottom, from the first match to the very last match, it just delivered. There's nothing really to say about it. Like, these women, right? They may not be draws in the same light as the men. Right? The last real draw in the women's division was China. China was bigger than Trish and Lita. Her popularity was unmatched compared to any other female on the roster at that time. Wrestling the men, she was on that same level as a Stone Cold and The Rock. She was considered on that same level, right? With all the main eventers of the Attitude Era. So she left a real impact when it comes to the women's division in terms of being an attraction for women. But there was some very good wrestling. There is no doubt in my mind that coming into Evolution, there was going to be really good wrestling. The show overall delivered for me, but the build-up was trash. The build was weak, and they had to rush to put together about 6 matches. And originally, I think Evolution was supposed to be held in a smaller venue because the ticket prices, not the ticket prices, but they were underselling in tickets. And they magically were able to pull it off over the weekend, barely scraping by. And, they managed to pull it off, though. They managed to fill up that whole arena. I think they would have fared better in a smaller venue if they had a hard time selling tickets for that amount of seats, that amount of people in that same arena of Saturday night's main event, right? Because it was literally the same arena as Saturday night's main event. But it is what it is. These women came out and they showed out, and this was better than Evolution number 1. Evolution 1, to me, it had some good parts to it and bad parts. It wasn't as good as the second one. My favorite match of that whole entire card was the main event. Rhea and Io, they put together a clinic. Those two work very well together. The story going in is that Rhea cannot beat Io. And coming out of Evolution, that story will still remain because Rhea still could not beat Io. And so by the very end, we had a certain Mrs. Caution. We had the wagon herself, Naomi, right? Proceed with caution. Finally cashed in her Money in the Bank contract and took the Women's World Championship. And that completely concludes her entire beef with Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, because now she's on the Raw roster. Stephanie Vaquer won the Battle Royal, and it was a pretty fun, solid Battle Royal. I thought the MVP of that entire match was Lash Legend. Lash Legend really impressed me. If anything, I think she should be the next in line for a shot at the NXT Women's Championship. And they just need to put a belt on her already. Stop wasting time. Same with Jada Parker. People did not like the fact that Jada Parker got eliminated in that Battle Royal. They would have liked for her to be the final 2 or final 3, if anything. But I think we all knew Stephanie Vaquer was going to win because she is one of their favorites. She is a flavor of the month. And we're going to see how long that lasts. But something tells me with Stephanie Vaquer, she is going to be big. And she's going to grow into something pretty special on Raw. I definitely would not give her the Women's World Championship that quick, because she is scheduled to face either Naomi, Io, or Rhea at Clash in Paris. So I don't expect Stephanie McCare to take the title at that event. Okay, we got to give Naomi a pretty long title reign. The amount of character work that she has put in, right? The reinvention of her character. She deserves a lengthy title reign. Naomi is the best we got right now in the women's division. From NXT, Raw, and SmackDown, she is the best. I don't care what you tell me. You can't tell me nothing. Go argue with your mama about it, because Naomi is on the top. She is the top female in the women's division. And all you pro blackies, y'all can go kiss it. Real talk. Y'all can go, kick rocks or do something with your life. I don't want to hear nothing about Triple H discriminating against black wrestlers. That is a lie. That's false. Okay, you cannot prove to me that's the case when Naomi is now a black female world champion. And Jade Cargill is soon to be another black female world champion. She's guaranteed to beat Tiffany Stratton. She just needs to improve herself in that ring. But she's going to get it done. So I don't want to hear that shit no more, because it's stupid at this point. And so let's move on to one of my favorite matches on the card. It was a triple threat IC championship. Lyra Valkyria, Bayley, and Becky Lynch. And listen, my only favorite out of this entire match was Lyra. I thought Lyra really brought it. She stepped up her game in a big way. I mean, all three of these ladies, they put on a clinic. They all delivered. They all worked very well together. It's a triple threat match that I would like to see again someday down the line. And Becky retains with a lucky quick roll up. And yeah, man, Lyra Valkyria, she is improving. She's getting better. You can tell she is starting to evoke more emotion in her matches. Like, she's not just doing moves just to do moves. It's like she's doing certain moves for, with a purpose, and she's stepping up her character work just a little bit. She still got a long way to go, but I've been saying this for months now with Lyra Valkyria. She is improving and getting better, and I will not count her out at all. So that's that. We had Jordynne Grace, Jacy Jayne for the NXT Women's Championship. Blake Monroe was involved, and she wound up costing Jordynne Grace a title match. She hit her in the back with that title belt, and Jacy Jayne got the win. I think with the storyline going in that Jacy Jayne is the beatable champion, but she'll continue to, in storyline context, prove everybody wrong and actually be champion for a longer period of time. That's kind of where I see it going. You don't just call someone a beatable champion and on their first title defense, they lose the title, because then that would just make her look very weak. And the whole point is for Jacy Jayne to prove everybody wrong, that she is not a beatable champion and that she'll actually go on to have a longer title reign. So I won't be surprised if they wind up taking the belt off of her in the next next 2 or 3 months. They'll give her a solid reign, right? But the whole point is she's going to prove everybody wrong, that she's not a beatable champion and that she can hold her own when it really counts the most. And Blake Monroe, she works way better as a villain due to her work in AEW with Tony Storm. So her as a babyface, it was never going to pan out well at all. And it should be interesting what they do with Blake Monroe and Jordynne Grace. I think that should be intriguing to watch, And then we had the Fatal 4-Way Women's Tag Team Championship match. Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss versus Raquel, Roxanne, Kabuki Warriors, and Zarya and Sol Ruka. Now, there's a lot to talk about in this women's tag team match. I think the main talking point is that Charlotte is beginning to find her stride again. And I guess when I say stride, I mean she is starting to become likable again. And it's because of her work with Alexa Bliss. That is the reason why she is becoming likable, why the fans are cheering her. And I think that's what should have happened when she was going to WrestleMania for the title shot. But the problem was they presented Charlotte in a arrogant way, in a way where she had no choice but to be disliked, no choice but to be booed. You showed her on a yacht, right? You showed her living a glamorous, luxurious life. I mean, what did you think was going to happen when she came back? The fans were not going to cheer that. They're not going to cheer somebody living a good life. It's not relatable to the average Joe watching or viewing, right? And so I thought this was an interesting fatal four way women's tag match. Obviously, Roxanne and Raquel got the victory. They retained their belts because why not? And they're still trying to establish themselves as a tag team together before Liv Morgan gets back, and uh, before she gets turned on eventually by Roxanne and Raquel. So we got to tell that story, keep that going. Sol Ruka really impressed me in this match. I thought she showed out, and that Soul Snatcher, man, it's going to be money. I'm calling it right now. That is the best finisher right now in wrestling, in my opinion. That is one of the best. Um, the Soul Snatcher, that's going to be big money. I'm telling you right now. Moving on to Jay Cargill, Naomi, no holds barred. Um, this was going to be their last match for the time being, and you know, thought both these ladies really brought it. The aggression, the intensity. They brought a lot of tenacity in this match. Bianca Belair, she was a referee, and I was under the assumption that Bianca was going to pull some shenanigans and give Naomi the victory, but I guess it didn't go that way. I think they might be waiting on that heel turn just a little bit longer, right? Thought Jade held her own. She's in a ring with someone like Naomi. She got no choice but to have a good match and to really bring it. And I thought she brought it. I thought she held her own well. And the more matches she has like this, the better she will get. Okay. That's the thing with Jade. She needs to have matches with more experienced workers like a Naomi and a Bianca Belair. And trust me, she will get better as time progresses. And so Jade will go over, hitting the top rope Jaded move, finisher move onto a table and got the 3 count. So that's that. Then like I said, the main event with Rhea and Io was magic. And it had me on the edge thinking, okay, is Io going to actually beat Rhea? I'm under the assumption Rhea's going to beat Io. But that final sequence where Io hit a top rope Spanish fly on Rhea, you can say that Rhea had Io beaten. Yeah, she did when Io knocked the referee down and she hit the Riptide. But that final sequence, it looked like both were equal. Both were even. And Io got the last laugh when it came to hitting a move on Rhea before Naomi cashed in. So both were down. In that moment, it didn't look like nobody was going to win. So, and let me just say this, right? I'm glad Io's title reign came to an end because Io did not get a chance to have a title reign. She didn't even get a chance to defend the belt for more than one time. Okay? Her title reign was lackluster. And she barely wrestled. The last 2 months, when it came to Money in the Bank qualifying matches, Queen of the Ring qualifying matches, Io Sky was nowhere to be found, nowhere to be seen. So the attention was not really on her. It was on the Queen of the Ring qualifying matches, Money in the Bank qualifying matches. And Io's left to do nothing. And she's your world champion, and she can't even get a match. Tiffany Stratton gets a match. She gets to face Nia Jax for like 2 months straight. But Io Sky can't even get a match with nobody. So when she went into this title match, it was literally her first match in like a month and a half, man. Maybe 2 months. So it's like she didn't even get a chance with that title to have a decent reign. So I was already prepared for her to lose that championship. When Naomi came out, I was like, let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's make this cash in successful. No bullshit, no shenanigans, no false finishes. Let's just 1, 2, 3, go the hell home. And that's what happened. Naomi went up there to that ring, threw Rhea into the corner turnbuckle, took out Io with the Money Bank briefcase, hit a springboard. What's that move called again? A springboard. I don't know. Split leg moonsault. Yeah, a split leg moonsault. I can't even pronounce a damn move. She hit that on Io and got the 1, 2, 3, and Naomi is your new women's world champion. So I thought that was a great way to end off Evolution. Got to see some legends, some OGs in the crowd. Thought that was cool. Um, nice to see some old faces. And and I know I did forget Trish and Tiffany Stratton. That was the other match that happened. I did not talk about that match at all. Um, Trish Stratus, right? It's amazing to me that she can compete at 49 years of age and still look like she can compete like she was 25 years old. You know, it's like she don't miss a step, man. She really don't miss a step. And if she wanted to, she can go in that ring with the best week in and week out, full time if she wanted to. And that's crazy for a woman of her age to continue like that, to remain healthy, to let alone not just healthy, but to remain in great in ring shape. That's a whole different level of being in shape and being healthy at that age for a woman. Man, that's impressive. And I thought her and Tiffany put on a good match. Wasn't my favorite match of Tiffany Stratton's. I thought, you know, um, it wasn't a match that blew me away because, like I said, when it came to the build up of Evolution as a whole, including this build for this match, it was trash. So I really wasn't excited to see this match. But as the match started, I was like, you know what? This is Trish Stratus. I'm pretty sure she's ready to go. I'm pretty sure she can still hang in there. And she did. And she delivered. And so her and Tiffany, you know, props to them. They went out there and delivered. But Trish deserves more of the credit for, you know, not doing this week to week, not doing this full time. No, she does this every once in a while. And in that ring, she's the most impressive out of all the girls, right? She can still, if she wanted to, out wrestle most of the women on that roster. It's crazy how she can still go at that age. So with that being said, I will have to rate Evolution 2 um, a 9 out of 10 for me. Thought this was a very fun show. All the women matches delivered, and that's all I gotta say about that. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'm out. And peace.